Mike Chernaski, Carol, you're starting to film with all these guys, and then Plan B starts.
Yeah.
I mean, that was crazy. That was huge.
It was the best.
And if you were there witnessing all this stuff.
For sure.
Like, what were you just wishing that they, like, oh my God, I need to be involved with this? Not at all. A video?
Like,
it needs to be a video project.
Like I swear to God, it was so, I had blinders on where I was like, I just need to film. I'm filming this. So then Mike Chernaski called me and was like, hey, Jake, do you mind filming Mikey? Okay, yeah, no problem. I'll film Mikey. Boom. Then I go film Mikey. Didn't even say
anything about questionable or nothing?
Nothing. I mean, nothing was even called that.
Didn't even say anything about Plan B?
No. It just...
was before.
And I actually think he didn't even tell me about Plan B. I think Mikey told me about Plan B.
Okay.
So like...
That makes sense, though, in a way.
Yeah, like Chernaski's... They know, and they're like, oh, this is happening now. I remember him saying, this is happening. And then I filmed at that San Francisco contest. And then I think it was that San Francisco contest would be after the summer, right? So that's fall of 91.
In September?
Yep. And then I'm filming at EMB at those sessions.
Heavy.
I mean, amazing. And then filming at the contest, and Mike is at that contest, Chernaski. And all the Plan B riders are at that contest. And at that point, Carol and I are like this, like I gave him his pro spotlight. I'm filming him all the time. The world is my oyster. Like he's in a moment where skating is not so technical that it's driving him crazy. Learning new tricks is happening. And we're filming all the time, getting footage every time we go out. And so the San Francisco contest happens. I'm sort of now at this point, Chernaski's like, okay, now you're going to film, you're going to be my filmer in San Francisco for Mike Carroll and for anyone else on this company who's in the Bay Area. I'm like, check, got it.
Got you.
Now this is where it gets interesting. I'm 18 years old, summer of 91. And when you're 18, you can write you can write a note to excuse yourself from a class in high school.
You write yourself?
Yeah. Because you're 18 years old.
Oh, you're
an adult.
18. That's
You're
right.
an adult.
Okay.
Yeah, legally. Yeah.
So I had a 6th period typing class.
Oh God.
And I mean, the number of excused absences, it could be like 56. And 56 is a lot when you consider school days are only 5 days a week, and in one semester.
Yeah.
So basically the fall semester, I had 56 excused absences that I excused. And every day I drive from Palo Alto to Daly City. I pick up Mikey, or I sit at his house for a while he showers.
Mm-hmm. Wait. So you would go to school?
I'd go to school.
But just ditch that last class.
Yeah, because he's not going to wake up early and we're not going to film at fucking 11, So I get to his house by 1:30, 2.
Sure.
Then it's like, are we getting the KFC sandwiches before, are we stopping at FTC on the way to EMB?
Yeah.
And then it's like, now we're at Embarcadero. And that was the program for that whole semester. There was one trip to San Diego where I went down, I don't know if I went down to ASR, but I went down and saw Mike, and I filmed with Mike Chernaski. I filmed Rick Howard and Danny Way. When Danny sacked himself in questionable on that flat rail, he's wearing shorts and a hat backwards, and he sacked himself on that rail. I filmed that, and then and Rick, I think that was when Rick focused my board.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I'm like trying to focus it, and he shoves me out of the way.
And
he just
Bro, I loved that shit. Pushes you out the pro.
Yeah.
I didn't even know who that was.
That was me.
That was you.
That was me.
Wow.
And I'm wearing an Anyway shirt.
Wow. Anyway, okay.
So I film with Mike there in that session. That's the fall. I'm filming.
Who was filming that?
Carol Chernaski.
Amazing.
And Sloshbach.
Amazing.
Sloshbach was in the family there too.
Yes.
So then I get the call from Mike, like November-ish, and he's like, "Hey, so I don't know what your situation is with school. If you have enough credits to graduate early, but I'd love for you to come down to San Diego and basically be the 3rd member of our team." He's like, "We got me and Sloshbach. Of course, Sloshbach was the one that I held the big four, when at skate camp in '88. So he's like, so you guys, and at that point he saw all the videos that I made.
Yeah.
So he knows I can edit. He knows that I can film. So he's just like, can you do that? And I was like, yeah, of course, totally. So then I go into the end of that semester.
What's happening with Carol at this point?
Carol's in San Francisco. We're getting footage, but Carol's in a good place. He's like, I need someone else in San Diego.
Gotcha.
And he's also like, I need you full time.
Yeah.
So you're going to get the team van. You're going to be able to drive to San Francisco if you need to film Mikey, but I need you based in San Diego so you can help us with the editing.
More guys down there too.
There's more guys down there, because there's only Carol in the Bay Area. So he's like, we need to be editing. We need to be doing all this other stuff. Got a little itch.
Jake,
So,
real quick, did you film Rick in the store buying his socks?
yes.
That was amazing.
Yes, Kmart. Yes.
What the hell was he buying socks for?
He always needs
Dude,
that.
bro,
Really?
He is,
He's a sock. He's just,
no, he's got serious problems with his feet.
Bro,
Yeah.
he would sweat right through a sock and it would be drenched.
I feel bad for him.
Literally.
Like he has athletes, but like
Oh, wow.
But it was gnarly back then.
Yeah.
He's chilling now, I'm sure.
it was bad. It was
I mean, I
almost
had
a
some
joke
too,
that
so-
he would like throw the socks at you. It's like anyway. But so I now know I'm going to do it. My parents are like, cool, yeah, no problem as long as you graduate early. Mm-hmm. So I get my report card going into Christmas vacation, and I did not get passing credits in my typing class.
well, I wonder why. Jesus Christ.
Typing class.
I know.
It's like
Who the hell?
I think there's like a certain amount of days that you can like miss in your
Yes.
semester. I think I don't know what it is back then.
56
is
was-
way past it.
I think
Yeah.
it was like in the 20s. It should be like in the
Exactly.
20s.
Yeah.
It's low 20s.
Yeah. But we have some family friends and they're like, I'll always remember that dinner. And I basically told my parents, I was like, I got 4 credits instead of 5. So I'm 1 credit shy of graduating.
Oh my God.
But I'm going to San Diego
Wow.
to work on this with Mike. And they knew Mike because remember they came to skate camp.
Sure.
And they know all this stuff. So they're like, I'm going to live with him. It's like, it's all, worked out. So we have Christmas. A couple days later, I get on the Southwest flight from San Jose to San Diego, have my camera, have everything, go to the Plan B mini ramp. Danny Way is trying Caballerial nose blunt gazelle out. Like one of the heaviest sessions I've ever seen in my life. I'm just off the plane. Sloshbach is there. I'm there. We're both filming. And Mike is there. Rick is there. Rick, I think that's the same night he did heel flip varial nose slap on the mini ramp. And we slowed down in his part.
Sure. And he was coming down from Vancouver.
Yep. He was coming down from Vancouver and he would stay with Sheffy or stay with Danny. And Danny landed cab, nose blunt, gazelle out. And just an anecdote with me and Mike, I was like, great, we got it. Like we got 2 cameras on it. We totally have it. Right? And I think I got the low angle and Sloshbach got the high angle from the deck or something. And I was like, so we watched mine, we watched Slosh's, and I was like, dude, Slosh, dude, you got the shot, dude. That was fucking sick. Your shot is dope. Like I just told Slosh, like his shot looked fucking beautiful.
Right. Yeah.
And then many, many months later, when Mike and I were having a conversation, he's like, that's when I knew I was so grateful to have you working for me, is you actually told him he got a better shot.
Right.
And Mike was like, I actually liked your shot more. I'm not saying that for my own thing, but Mike was like, I kind of liked your shot, but I loved that you took yourself out of it.
Yes.
And Mike's whole deal with me was he was like just trying to destroy self-importance because he saw this kid that wanted to be liked and that wanted to be accepted and to be seen. And he just kept trying to remove that desire from me and puff me up on my own.
Right.
And that was kind of his path with me. But that's like the blessing. That's what I get. I get off the airplane and I see that trick and I'm just like, and right. So that's the skate camp journey to that night. And then we go to the house and Mike's like, oh, you want to watch a part? And I was like, oh yeah. So then he shows me Pat Duffy's part.
Oh wow.
For the bang.
Shit.
And it's fucking done.
It's already done.
It's done.
And you have never heard of this dude before?
I mean, I'd
He kinda
filmed
came
him
out
at
of-
an amateur contest, and I'd seen him at EMB once or twice.
Yeah.
But I had heard the legend of Pat Duffy. Like I'd heard like that dude Pat, because Mike's like, dude, we got this guy Pat. And I remember watching. I mean, I feel like I don't know if I cried, but I like to cry at skate videos. Like if you were at.
like it's a beautiful
Fully
cry.
flared.
Yeah, like fully. If you're a fucking fully flared and fucking
Guys,
Yeah.
guys,
Oh
fucking the
my
doors
God.
open,
Yeah.
and you're just like, come on,
Yeah,
fucking
yeah,
inject this into my veins. Like, but I want to feel that from skateboarding. And I remember when the fucking rain comes and fucking the
Primus.
doors,
Oh no, doors. I'm
but
sorry.
it's like that, and it was like, and he, and it's like and that's for me. That's Mike.
Yeah.
That he is the one that saw that you could make skate videos theatrical.
Yeah.
That you could build emotion through editing, through music, through tone, through slow motion, and you could actually like what a real movie does.
Bring you on a
That's what I
journey.
was about to say.
Oh, here's the breadcrumbs. This is you have a little bite. Oh, come on, come here. And he did, and to digress a bit, he did that with a life video.
Yes,
Right. So in Sheffy's part, it's astounding.
Yeah, that music starts coming.
The
on.
music starts coming in. It's like Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, but it's like I think Ron Allen did a riff
Yeah.
on it, and he shows you the spots. It's not filmed well, but the idea is brilliant.
Yeah.
He literally shows you like a gap. He shows you a handrail.
Before it's done.
But you don't see anyone skating. You just see those things at the beginning, and you hear this
Totally.
wah, and then it cuts to a slow-mo shot of Sheffy with his fucking. I mean, bro,
Fuck.
that's Sheffy, right? Like
Yeah.
when we
I'm getting
think about
goosebumps
that,
back here, by the way.
See?
What's that?
I'm getting goosebumps back
Let's
here.
go. Let's go.
He's gonna cry. I'm just gonna cry.
I'll cry with you. But then he proceeds to fucking destroy every one of those spots.
Yep.
And when he did, you felt a sense of completion. Like you're like, oh, and then he fakey ollies a fucking picnic tail. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what the fuck is going on here? But again, so Mike did that with the life video, and at the same time, with the Not the New H Street video, he starts putting fucking Beethoven in there. He starts putting AC/DC in there. And now Dan Sturt is filming it. And Sturt's filming is beyond reproach. His filming as a lensman, Sturt is, to me, like as a skate filmer, like you go, I want to at least try to get a trick the way Sturt would get it. And so Mike has the Sturt footage. He starts throwing this music in that's totally different than anything that's been used. And by the way, what he's used prior in his videos that he's made with other people, great music, stuff that we think of to this day. The Cry, If You're Alone Now, to be on your own, that Matt Hensley part in Hocus Pocus.
Amazing.
But he goes in and he's testing all these ideas. And then Questionable is like, okay, here it is. This is the best I can do. I have the best kids. I got the team of filmers. At that point, him and Sloshbach are filming primarily. I come in and like pepper in a bunch of stuff at the end, but I don't take any credit for like the visual prowess in Questionable. I have a lot of footage in there, but like that video is Mike's vision of what and how a skateboard video can feel.
Brilliant.
And it is like, and when you go to that Questionable premiere was like, my dad wrote me a letter on the airplane flying home. And he said, I am so proud of you to see what you're a part of.
Amazing.
And he said, and the way that people talk about you, that you work with, makes me proud of you. And so again, that's so integral to the trust that he had for me to be able to stay with Mike and all this stuff. Now I still had to do Outward Bound that summer because I didn't graduate high school.
Okay.
But
Got to get your credit.
but I think that video, to go on a tangent a little bit, is like, it made you feel what skateboard videos could be.
Right.
It's why I have a soft spot for Ty. It's why I have a soft spot for Bill. John Miner, when he, that first E-America video, like, there's a thing there. And skateboarding is the best because it can be this instrument that plays so many notes.
Absolutely.
1,000%.
And it's like, yeah, so I saw the Duffy. So to go back, I saw the Duffy part and was like,
this is what I'm fucking involved with.
Yeah. And then now you're like, okay, you know, and I fucked up on that trip. Sal did a backside 180 double kickflip at La Jolla, and I played it back, and I didn't play it long after. Oh, so what happened back then is, you know, people changed it later once they learned the mistake. But if you play a clip, so let's say we got a clip, and I'd be like, Chris, check this out. Boom, we watch it. Yes. If I stop it too soon and then record the next trick, it might actually wind back a touch. So Sal landed a rad trick, and I kind of cut off the end a little bit. And I was just like, oh my God.
Devastating.
Devastating. And what can you say? You know? And like at that time, a backside 180 double kickflip down like 7 stairs was pretty legit.
Did you tell Sal? Did you tell Sal?
Sal was right. Yes. Sal knew. Yeah.
He saw it.
Yeah, he saw it eventually.
What did he have to say about that?
Yeah,
we ended up using it. We just because we cut right. It's a very quick cut.
Yeah.
But you know, I fucking blew it.
Wow.
And I really felt bad.
Happens to the best of them.
It could be worse. You could have cut it completely off.
Yeah. I'm trying to. I know I have some of that. I have a couple tapes of sessions that I recorded over because back in the day the tapes are so expensive.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. But I have like Guy Morale session that I recorded over. Yeah, that was like
damn.
Dagger in the heart.
Yeah, it's not like a painting. You can just kind of clean away the surface and get underneath.
Yeah.
So once you saw the Pat Duffy part, did he show you any other parts, by the way? Or maybe some footage and stuff? Or?
I mean, we definitely watched footage.
Okay.
The Pat Duffy part was done in the fall. And that was the first thing he showed me. He may have shown me the Pat Duffy part when I came down for that trip where I filmed Mike, Rick, and Danny.
Okay.
But it was done early. And it set the tone.
Yes,
Fuck.
it did.
Yes.
And it's like, it's hard, man, because, you know, Mike knew that was a motivator, which it was.
I mean, did he show that to like Carol or anybody else, or like to kind of like?
Oh yeah, I mean, and those guys,
fire under that.
I mean, and those guys talk about like how that, looking back, was not a positive experience for them.
I'm sure
because they didn't feel great. But you know that.
But Duffy also was on a different level. They didn't skate like Duffy.
But see, we were too young.
Right.
Yeah.
You're too young. You just see a guy skating and you're like, oh fuck, I guess I'm supposed to do handrails too. And the answer is no.
Yes.
You're supposed to do what you do really well.
Exactly.
And maybe there's a handrail in there for you, but maybe not.
Sure. If that inspired you to do do it.
Then great.
Right.
Yeah, the transference of that.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was amazing, and yeah, I mean, and then I'm filming Rodney, and then I'm filming Danny, and then I'm filming Rick, and then I go to Canada. You fucking stopped at the border. That's a great story. I get on the airplane to go to Canada with Mikey to film Rick and Colin. We fly to Canada. First time I've left the country.
You going to Vancouver?
Going to Vancouver.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is 92.
Short flight, easy.
Short flight. Yeah, easy.
Sure.
Pacific corridor is a little bumpy. Okay. I don't like that. I get the immigration form. Are you here for business or personal? I'm here for fucking business. I was like, so I'm like, I'm here for business, right?
Yeah.
Right? Like I got my camera, I'm filming for Plan B. Boom.
Don't say
I'm here
that.
for business. Yeah. We get to immigration. So you're here for business? Yeah. I'm filming this. I'm filming the new Plan B video. And the guy's like, do you have your work permit? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And it's like, well, you can't just enter the country, you know. So
you're taking work away from
correct.
Well, what I meant was,
but this is
what I meant was I'm handling business.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I
take it they didn't let you in.
They detained me.
Okay.
And when they detained me, Mike finally gets on the phone with them. They're like, he's like, look, he's not really filming, like really, like he's just kind of a kid, like he just loves doing this, and I'm kind of telling him that he's, you know, let him film. He's just filming with his friends.
Okay.
And Mike talked to someone, but that person couldn't override the decision that was made before them.
Yeah.
So Mikey and I are on the plane on the runway, and Carol at this point, probably the first time he really started hating me. and it's like we're waiting, and it was like, oh, this is the worst. I just felt so horrible. And I had talked to Mike, right, because it's just a back. I mean, we were detained for like 8 to 10 hours.
Oh, God. Both you guys.
Yeah. Well, because he's like, I'm not going to stay if you're not going to be here. It's like, we have no filmer. Sure. Like, you know, the plane breaks down on the runway.
Oh my.
Well, what happens when you get off the plane? You have to re-enter the country. I'm not here for work. I'm here for pleasure.
So, wait a minute. So
like,
you get
wait.
So you go
this time. Yeah.
You go into customs. You do all that stuff. Then they put you back on the plane.
So we're on the plane. That plane breaks down.
And you got to get back off.
The plane that going back to LA or San
Francisco. Yeah, the plane going back to SFO breaks down.
You come
on
back
the runway.
out off that plane.
But you have to fill out your immigration form again to re-enter the country.
Is it the same guy at the booth?
No, it's the guy that Mike buttered up who was like, poor kid.
Okay.
So I fucking walked through. The guy's like, no problem, kid. You're good.
Yeah.
Rick Howard's on the other side. He's like, Rose. And then it was.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So it worked out.
Oh, it worked out. But it was like, you know, that's the beautiful thing about this thing we love is it offers you so many experiences to just kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
And there's literally no one like sat me down and said, so Jacob, if you're traveling internationally,
right.
do not fill out. I was like, what do you like? What?
Yeah.
Like I thought this was cool to just fill out a form.
Sure.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was serious.
Going to
They feel like a
handle
grown up.
business.
Yeah, doing business. I'm a
Yeah.
grown up.
Yeah.
Gonna
that's-
go
Yeah.
film. Work
Yeah.
on a Plan B video.
Yeah.
This is Mike Carroll.
Yeah.
Where it's Rick Howard over there.
That's right.
That's pleasure.
And staying at Colin McKay's house.
Oh my goodness
yeah.
gracious! Wow.
That was a wild trip.
So you filmed for the Plan B questionable video.
Yeah.
How long did you film that for?
I probably, I would have filmed in the summer of 91 and the fall of 91. And then I was full-time from January to when it came out. It came out April 12th, 1992.
Okay, so about a year, give or take a couple months.
I mean, I'd say less than that,
okay, okay.
The company didn't really start until the summer of 91. There's some 8th Street footage that's in that video. But, the way that it was designed to edit the parts and do it, it was pretty efficient once you had all the footage for a skater. When Mike had, we had an Apple computer in the editing room, and let's say we shot something together. I would take your tape and I'd take that clip that we love and maybe some outtakes and some other cool stuff, and I'd transfer it to your transfer tape. Okay. And then I'd go onto the computer and I'd write the time code on the computer. Chris did
Blah,
switch
blah, blah,
flip Manny
here, right.
at this time, blah, blah, blah. And then that would get a star designation to it. Now, switch flip Manny, that's a fucking,
4 stars.
4 stars for sure.
Maybe 5
For sure.
if we're jumping.
If we had that criteria.
No, I mean, you got to add that criteria.
For you, we would have.
Thank you.
So 5-star switch flip Manny, that's on the computer. It's right there. And then the next clip that gets logged, you're going to look at it. You're going to go, is this like an opener? That's a 4. Is it like a slow motion? That's a 4. Is it like a line that's okay? That's like a 1 or a 2. But you would log it, and then you would assign a designation to it with how sort of like how it made you feel or how great it was. Okay. And then when it came time to edit, you would print out the transfer tape, and then you would kind of circle the clips and then start to, in your head, envision the order of the part, because everything was analog, tape to tape. And then, so we would audition a song, you'd lay the song down, and then you would start grabbing the clips and start putting them together in an order. But you could, if you got to the point where you had every clip on the transfer tape and you had the song transferred, you could do a part in about a day or so.
Okay.
Like, that's what it was.
That's what it was. Quick.
Like, yes, once you had everything. Right. So for questionable, I edited the contest and demos, the slam section, the credits, all the end credit stuff. Mike did the parts in questionable. He edited all the parts.
Got you.
In questionable.
You're watching him edit the parts?
100%. The editing room was always like, we'd always edit late at night. We'd start after his fiance and then eventually his wife would go to bed. and then we'd edit until about 5 o'clock in the morning.
Because that was at his house office.
Yeah.
His house office.
Well, he lived on Springbrook Drive in Poway. So you'd go Poway Boulevard, and then right up in the hill, there was this condominium complex, and he had a little editing room there, right off the side on the downstairs. And then upstairs was the master bedroom and then the guest bedroom. So I lived in the guest bedroom. He would kind of have his evening with Mary, and then we would kind of, meet in the editing room, and it was like, okay, whose part's going to happen tonight?
Are you, is other skaters coming in to check out all their parts and other people's parts?
For sure.
Well? Yeah.
For sure. Mike wasn't, I don't remember him being secretive or not sharing what was going on. I think
it's a motivator.
He liked yes, to a fault for him.
Sure.
But keep in mind, Mike was 25 years old when he made Questionable.
Got you.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe 20. Yeah, 25.
That's crazy.
Yeah, 24.
Okay.
He would have turned 25 in March, right before Questionable came out.
Wow.
Yeah, 24.
Did you choose any people's songs in the video?
In Questionable, the only songs that I chose would be the sections that I edited. And when I say chose, it's like nothing was like, oh, I'm using this.
Oh, okay.
It was like, hey, what do we think? And it's like, oh, Green Day. This is, no effects. Oh,
it's a conversation.
It's always a conversation. But Mike was very collaborative. Yeah. And again, this is the thing to me that just blows my fucking mind. I really struggle to wrap my head around it. Not because I can't conceptualize it, but because it's so damn beautiful. That I'm this 18-year-old kid. Like, I have no business to be in this editing room with this guy at all. And he's like, okay, great. You're editing the slam section. Or like, oh, what do you think of this, Jake? What do you think of this? And I'm like, well, I think you should do this. He's like, okay, great. That's a good idea. I mean, it was a full collaborative thing. Like, he drove that shit in Questionable. Mm-hmm. And the gift that he gives me is Virtual is still a partnership with us, but I edited the majority of Virtual. And at that point, he's like starting to see him taking a higher role at the company, and like he saw what I can do. So now it's like, and of course he's approving everything. We're doing a lot together. Yeah. But he trusted people.
Yeah. And you got to empower people as well.
Yeah.
Well, that's the motivator.
But he saw something in you.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Which is, I mean, you can't downplay yourself, Jake. At the end of the day,
he's a good floor.
And you're a younger generation too.
Yeah, dude, he saw something in you, bro, early on.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, Jim Thiebaud said something amazing to me. I think, when I very, kind of specifically got out of skateboarding after Mike passed, and I remember talking about all these things that had happened to me, and Jim was like, "Be careful to give Mike too much credit." And I was always grateful that Jim said that. He's such a wise and beautiful soul. And it was like, like you do have to give yourself that. But I'm at heart, like, I'm still that kid. He's still alive. He's still my boss. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I can't ever see myself other than the disciple, the mentee.
I guess.
For
sure.
That's
for sure.
Like I think he just turned 28 when he died. He's still older than me today.
It's so crazy,
yeah.
man. So crazy. So Questionable comes out, huge success. I mean, it fucking blew people's minds. I mean, we just came off of the Blind video days, and all of a sudden Questionable
and there's
comes
a big
out.
gap between those two videos. It's not a year, but it's close to 9 months.
That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. Real shit.
Where is that like button? Right? Is it right here or right here?
Just a little scroll coming down the bottom.
It's
subscribe
over to it's on your
it's on my
left.
right? It's
No,
on
on
my
your
left.
left.
Hey,
Yeah.
hit that
there.
button right there.
Right there.
Right there.
Yeah, please.
The like button's kind of like in the middle there. It's like we're kind of like
it's like right here?
Kind of.
Like right
and
there?
the subscribe's like over to the left.
It's like right over there. All right.